Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to the Bear's Den. How's everyone doing? Hope everyone's having a great day today. It is talk show time! Woo! Welcome back, Lou. Thanks for making things easy for me. As always, you can see Paul there in chat as well as on screen. Been 2 weeks. We got some interesting things to talk about, which is always good. Some better than others, but you know what? Regardless, it's always fun. Because that's what we try for here, is having fun. So, with that being said, let's kind of see Alex is doing some announcement stuff for announcing streams and other discords, which is fine. That's cool. That's cool. So let's jump on in and have some fun.
Like,
Yeah.
usually these things are like they're all sugary or weird. This thing is actually like nuts, clean and crisp. You actually taste the.
Oh,
like,
is that the
sweet flavor.
High Moon ones?
Yeah, High Noon.
Yeah, High Noon. Yeah,
Yeah.
those are good. Those are good.
Yeah,
Cool.
they're very good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
As I'm still rocking the Modelo's.
You're still working on that same case of Modelo?
Dude, I was having like one when we were playing BG3 and one during the show.
Wow.
Of like was it 1224 something like that?
Wow.
And we also like bought more, so it's like
That's true. And you're more of a smoker than a fucking drinker, to be fair.
Yeah.
Like, which is fair.
Yeah, we went to.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I would say we went to Walmart for some stuff yesterday, and they had these for like $2 or something each. They had like a whole selection of like the tall boys. I was like, yeah, okay.
For
we're gonna try
$2?
this. And they're really cheap there. Yeah, it was like $2 or
Nice.
$3. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. Also, Modelo is awesome.
yes.
Yeah, Modelo is super good.
Yes.
Like Modelo is just one of those like beers that I can always drink. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like and I know that like I don't know why Europeans get all over like Americans. Like for all the things that Americans do shitty, like are we really going to talk about our beer? Like I feel like who cares? That's like out of all the like crap that we do internationally, beer is on your list? Like who cares? Let us drink our shitty Coors Light. Like who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
But yeah, I am more of a marathon drinker than a sprinter. So I like to drink something that's smooth and like non-committal. You know what I'm saying? Like you ever have like
Mhm.
2 or 3 heavy wheat beers at like 2 in the afternoon? It's like, okay, well, I guess I'm going home and taking a nap. You know? Like it's basically changed my evening. Like, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep.
Says the guy who is literally drinking PBR. Like
I mean,
Putting up-
that's a pretty watered down beer too.
it is. It 100% is.
It's pretty clean.
Yeah, but I
It's the
really
stuff
like
that the
flavor.
nightclubs used to give away for free. So
Yeah. And even when you go to like fucking like Buffalo Wild Wings, you could get a pounder for $2. That for me is like, it's got some
Yeah.
flavor. It's not Coors Light, even though again, I'm not knocking Coors Light because I like Coors Light too. I like that
Yeah.
every week we like fucking get on here and the first thing we talk about is booze. And then
why
immediately
not?
usually me talking about wiener stuff somehow.
yeah.
yeah.
It's usually the transition.
Yeah,
Yeah,
usually.
classic shit.
Well,
Classic shit.
yep. Agent B
Ah,
is smarter than AI without it.
yep.
Without some wiener talk.
You know it, baby.
Speaking of, well, not speaking of wiener stuff, but speaking
Oh,
of,
I perked up like so quickly. I was like, yes. Go on.
speaking of smarter than AI
Wieners,
stuff,
you say.
did some thinking after our last show, plus also just the three of us talking, and I am going for moving forward. I will start archiving the shows at least on Twitch. Theoretically, maybe, possibly also sending them, like download it and then re-upload it over to YouTube, so we have it. I would say more long term there as well, but and also just another way for people to find our show.
Sure.
Mainly because the simple fact of it, for as much as we talk about conservation of video games, it's kind of hypocritical of me to not conserve our show. So
Yeah, well,
but
I mean, just because like it has been going on for so long, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
it would be one thing if like we gave up, like, you know, like I showed you the paperwork that I found
Oh yeah,
for when
12
I
years
was
ago.
doing the show. Yeah, originally 12 years ago.
Mhm.
You know, and we still do have some stuff up on YouTube. I don't know why, but when we originally got our YouTube, Adrian put it under STAI. I think he didn't feel like typing out smarter than AI. um,
Mhm.
so he put it under StyPod, which is terrible and
Yeah.
super hard to find. But yeah, so technically I still do have stuff up on fucking YouTube.
Okay.
I feel like there was a reason for that.
I remember that he was drunk when he was trying to explain it to me, and I just went, whatever, man, you're in charge of it. It's just fine. Like, but whatever. Like, I don't know. I've been thinking for a while, like a couple of fucking weeks now, that like I may start, like, I was thinking about like some things that I want to talk about. Like BG3 was the first one that I was like, I would like to talk about this game. I have put almost 400 hours in now, and I kind of want to do a long form, like, all right, this is gonna be the most spoilery thing of all time. But I was just like, dude,
We talked about Elden Ring. I think we could
Yeah.
carve
right,
out some time
right.
for Baldur's Gate.
And considering
Right,
it's
like-
basically it's been out now for like almost a year,
A year,
and
actually.
not to mention the like what 5 years before that it was in early access for Act 1 at
early
least. So it's like,
access,
spoilers at this point. No,
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
And I feel like I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I'm
Well,
saying?
it's
Like, I
funny you
want to
say
talk about
that.
it.
It's funny you say worrying about spoilers, and then they just announced that there's additional endings coming in the
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is why I still like haven't. I don't know. But yeah, I think that could be fun. So I don't know.
Dark Urge endings, but there's
I was thinking about maybe even like asking like either Jake or maybe even like hiring somebody to edit the fucking thing for me. I don't know. Because I just think like it's going to be a conversation. Like, dude, it's gonna be like an hour and a half long video minimum because that game is ridiculous. Like,
yeah.
and I don't know, it's getting all the footage. I don't know. So, anyways, so let's talk about video game news. It is 9:13. We have not. That wasn't our worst intro, but not our best.
We have still not talked about
15
wieners.
minutes, less than 15 minutes.
Less than 15 minutes. Ain't bad.
Yeah.
So who wants to go first?
Sure, I'll go
Nope,
first.
Everyone jump in at once.
Sure, I'll go first. I don't care.
Okay, go for it.
So if you are into movies and TV shows, you know SAG-AFTRA, Screen Actors Guild, things like that. Well, they also do a lot of the members of SAG-AFTRA also do voice acting for video games and cartoons, basically whatever your voice would be used, but not your in real life persona kind of a thing. Well, apparently back on, let me pull up the exact date here. Back on the 26th of July, unfortunately, this story I found ran across has been sitting around for a while in my inventory of stories, so I'm sorry. Back on the 26th of July, the Screen Actors Guild unanimously voted to strike in response to game companies using AI generation for their voices. So it's like, yeah, I totally back the Screen Actors Guild on that one, because yes, there are some things I will sit there and say AI generation, okay, but doing voices that sound exactly like actual celebrities, it's like, fuck no, you shouldn't be doing that, period.
Yeah.
Also, apparently on Thursday the 15th of August, they also did a picket from 9 a.m. till noon at Disney Character Voices in Burbank, California. And it wasn't just like SAG-AFTRA members, it was also people who support them, and like huge amounts of community showed up for it apparently. And realistically, considering the simple fact of it was a unanimous decision from the people who were in charge of making this decision, it's like, yeah, I can back them 100% on this one. There is no question about it.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
the whole fucking internet right now is talking about this whole AI thing, right?
Mhm.
Like, and Ryan George made a video today where he found some internet site that let you talk to celebrities and their AI versions of them. And he was like, I must have signed a piece of paper at some point to let this be a thing. I don't remember signing a piece of, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, dude,
Yep.
the fact of the matter is, like, companies are pushing this really hard because it's cheaper for them now and it looks like a really good opportunity. But already the general populace is like, dude, this is
Oh, yeah.
bad. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was already bad enough that we had to have, Grand Moff Tarkin back, even though he's been dead since like 1997. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
that was already
Yeah.
kind of like you know what I'm saying? Like, that was like the precursor to this. And
Yeah.
this shit can only go south.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, the fact they're doing that, I and they joined in on the writers' strike.
Yep.
So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm not fucking surprised. Fuck that. Like, this could be the primary source of some of these dudes' like income.
Oh, yeah.
Not like just something they do on the side. This is like their literal
Yeah.
livelihood.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck that,
Yep.
dude.
Yep. And it's not, when you think of SAG-AFTRA, don't just sit there and think of like the huge big AAA actors out there. Think of like the indie actors or the people who are just trying to get into the
Yeah,
business.
that's who it really
This is who it
hurts,
really
yeah.
hurts. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that like there have been also celebrities who have come forward and said, this is me in reality here. That project over there does not use my voice. Like, I never even heard of that project until someone pinged me and was like, hey, you did a good job in this project. And it's like, what project? I never
even
did that.
Scarlett
Right,
Johansson.
right. The Chat GPT
Yeah.
thing.
Yep.
Which is even worse
Yeah.
because they asked her to do the voice. She said no. And
Yeah.
then the voice
Because of
comes
the
out
movie-
and sounds
movie
an
that
awful.
she did about the dangers of AI.
Yes,
Mhm.
and then it sounds an awful
Or
lot
partially
like
about
her.
the dangers of
Like
AI.
that,
Yeah.
like, dude, that's fucked. That's like
Mhm.
morally fucked.
Yep.
But companies are obviously going to try to fucking get away with this shit, like, because it is cheaper for them.
Nvidia's got their first game out next year with their AI NPC software. It's like a mech. I have the story here.
Oh, God.
Because I saw this earlier today. Yeah, I think it's called Mecha Break. But yeah, it comes out sometime next year. It's a multiplayer mech battle game, but it's the first game that uses their what is it called? I think it's called Ace. But it's basically, it's AI voicing for the NPCs in the game. So,
And we're only going to see this more
Yeah.
right now,
Yeah.
right? Like, this is like the crest, like, this is like getting to be the crest.
Mhm.
And then it will break like every other thing, right? It will become a technological tool and it will be used by people, audio engineers, to clean up audio. It'll be used by actual AI or actual artists, to use AI. Like, it will become a tool. But
Right.
right now, the way that companies are thinking about it is, hey, if we do this, it's just cheaper.
Yep.
Like, period.
Mhm.
Like, fuck the human element. We don't have to pay the computer. But the problem is the rate that it's growing is did you see fucking Twitter Gronk? Did you
Yep.
see that shit?
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
dude, that is unhinged as fuck. And CoffeeZilla had a fucking video about it this week where he was like, the scary part is that companies aren't seeing how this could be used nefariously
Yeah.
by people who aren't a good people.
Mhm.
Like, misinformation can be spread so much easier with this.
Yeah, it's bad
like,
enough
kind of
without it.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. Like, without this technology, it's already fucking awful.
Mhm.
And now we can generate full images and dude, this is dangerous as shit. And like, the rational humans of the planet have to kind of raise our hands. And there's no legislation. That was another thing that Ryan
Yep.
George brought up in his
Yeah.
video. There's no legislation because this is completely uncharted water.
Mhm.
And the government moves slow as fucking
God, yeah.
molasses in
Yeah, we don't even have
January.
high-speed internet in most of the country.
Right.
Assuming this government even wants to do anything about it is the other thing, too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, most of the time
It's
they're
a
just
little-
like, oh,
it's a little A,
we're
a
not
little
gonna
B.
bother with that. And it's like, oh, go fuck yourself, dude.
Yeah, but a lot of that's born out of the fact that they have no idea how any of it works. And for some reason, if they don't personally feel like they know anything about it, they're not going to do anything about it.
Right. Which
So,
again, we have a
yeah.
bunch of old ass white guys in fucking government.
Then what?
They're not helping.
Then what needs to
Like-
wind up happening? And I do not condone this in any form at all. A lot of deepfakes need to be made about those senators like doing horrible things to
Nefarious
people
shit.
that are underage or like horribly illegal activities, kind of a thing.
Or be and this is all, but I'm not.
And
like,
again, I don't
wouldn't-
condone that at all.
Yeah, I just want the rest of us to fucking start like collectively, all of us start raising our hands, going, "Hey, seriously, we need to do something about this now.
Yeah.
This is
Oh,
like actually a problem."
Mhm.
You know,
You know
but
what would do it? One AI video of Trump endorsing Harris, and that would be. that
didn't
would
you
kill
see
it
the one on
instantly.
Gronk where she was pregnant?
Yep.
No, I'm saying if
No,
a
I know, but, like-
video, but yeah, like
No, I know,
that's
but
how
that
you
was
do it.
literally
You-
one
you
of the,
get
like-
them. Yeah,
That was one of the first ones. Like,
Mhm.
you know, like
Yeah.
it's just, I don't know. man. This
Completely
whole
unhinged.
thing- yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is completely a dumpster fire already. And if you don't like kind of step back and look at how much worse all of this could get, like we have to stand up, like
Oh, yeah.
all of us. Like, and be like, look, we need actual like rules about this. Otherwise, companies can make, and we didn't even touch on the fact of it, stealing people's fucking voices, stealing
Yep.
people's music, stealing people's art. You know, like there's no rules right now, none. So these companies can make these AIs that just go onto the internet and hoover up whatever they want right now. Like, you know, like, and how much
that's
longer
my-
is it
My
until they
favorite
can
part
do
of
it
this-
to individuals who are just us, you
Yep.
know?
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah, my favorite part of this whole thing is the all these companies that have their generative AI have been going into, you know, they've had the talk to people in power about the, you know, the legality of it and everything. And the thing they keep putting their head up against is that if they're not, they keep, and they've said this too, where it's like, if we can't pull from the internet, then our system doesn't work.
sorry. How about you just
And
how about
everybody's
you actually
response
give
is,
people
"Well,
money?
then
Yeah.
you're not actually creating anything then. So why
Right.
do you feel entitled to
Right.
other things? Like,
Right.
ugh.
Like just
Yeah.
because someone's art or image is online does not mean it's free for you to take. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh, yeah.
you need to pay these motherfuckers.
Mhm.
Like if you want to do that, that's fine as long as you get a contract. That was like why I started with the Ryan George thing. That is such a like concise way to say it. I don't remember signing a piece of paper for this. You know what I'm saying? And it's an AI that like
Mhm.
tries to mimic his voice and his face with the worst CGI I've ever seen, by the way.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you know, like this is just the shit we need to like snuff this out quick. I don't want to fucking belabor the point, you know, but like seriously,
Yeah.
like we need to do something about this collectively.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, thankfully the strike's happening. So
Yep.
that,
Yep.
at least
Yep.
it's something.
It's a step, right? It
Oh,
is
yeah.
a
Yeah.
step.
Well, we saw how much they dragged their feet last time when AI was a thing for the actors, the
Right.
film actors, where, you know, they were like, cool, there's this part of the contract says that you just have my likeness now. That's
Right.
not legal.
Well,
Yeah.
Again, though, the thing is, when more and more of these projects get out there, as far as, and then the celebrities or people in general find out that, hey, their likeness or voice is being used, but never gave permission to do it. This is what the companies want.
Yeah.
So vote with this. If at the last possible moment, if this is the only thing you can vote with this, because this is what they will pay attention to.
Yeah. All right. You want to go next, Polly?
Let's see. What do I have that would be interesting that I go with? You know what? Sure. Let's have a little conversation because I don't think we've ever actually had a larger conversation about this on the show. I know you and I have talked about this before, but Sony announced the price. When was this? Was this today? No, yesterday. Sony announced the price of the Until Dawn remake. $60 price tag. Right out of the gate. Yeah. For those who don't know, Until Dawn came out last generation on PlayStation 4. It, by all accounts, still looks fantastic. Plays equally as great. Nothing really wrong. Sony decided, I guess. Let me see here. When did the original?
God, Rich.
The one question I have while you're looking up that information, Paul, are we talking remake or remaster?
This is, in this case, it's a remake. It's a remake, but it's
a remaster.
If you looked at it, you wouldn't be. I wouldn't call you crazy for not thinking it's a remake. Yeah. So $60. The game came out in 2015, so it's not even 10 years old. We're already getting a remake. The larger conversation here, though, is that this $60 for remake kind of, I understand in a certain extent where, like, okay, for example, Resident Evil 4, that game's like 20 something years old. If you're going to remake that from the ground up and charge $60, okay, I can, I still don't necessarily like it, but at least in that case, you're making something brand new. In this case, not even a decade old, one generation past. It was a, kind of a technological like showcase for the console. I don't understand why we're not just getting more next gen. Well, I mean, I understand why, money at the end of the day, but I don't understand why so many, like, we're getting same gen remakes kind of the way we are, where why couldn't this just be a like update? Take the old game, update it, make it run on PS5 natively, boost the frame rate, clean it up, whatever you need to do. Yeah, I don't know. You guys got thoughts? Because this is, yeah, I'm getting kind of tired of games that are less than 10 years old, kind of.
I mean, I think that like that goes for all of us, right? Like, and honestly, like, not to shit on Until Dawn, but like, cool.
Yeah.
Like, dude,
Yeah,
Until
right.
Dawn is like
Right.
a PS4 exclusive that I never fucking played, and it's like ostensibly a choose your own adventure game. Like, I watched my favorite fucking YouTuber play it for the first 2.5 episodes, and then I got bored and didn't finish the series. Like,
Yeah.
I cool. It's got QuickTime events. Like, you want to fucking remake it, make it into an actual action game with all the same things. Like, where you
Right.
actually change the core
Yeah.
concept,
Mhm.
Yeah.
not just like we made the graphics prettier. Because that is a remaster.
Yeah.
That's what that is. That is a remaster. I don't care what fucking light they're trying to shine on it. That's a remaster. And frankly, you're right. It's one generation back. But we are in the era of remasters, and I won't even say remakes, because only like the cream of the crop really get remakes nowadays. I usually don't even shit on remakes, frankly, because that title or series earned it. Right? Like, okay, bet. Like, yeah, you want to redo fucking RE2? Yeah, okay, that makes sense to me. You want to redo
and that is a
Final Fantasy?
massive remake. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That's a remake.
Yeah.
A remaster,
Yeah.
the next generation, like less than 10. And by the way, I saw the side-by-side screenshots, and I was like, Sure. I mean, I guess that looks better, but like in a game that has no replayability because it is a choose your own adventure that like literally goes to one point at the end, right? It's not like BG3 where there's all these different endings. There is still only one ending in Until Dawn. Like there's only what
Jeez.
like so what are we doing here? Like you're going to come to my house and remaster a book and by what changing the font? Like, does that make sense?
Apparently.
Like, or am I insane?
Yeah.
No, it totally makes sense, dude.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Like that's just
I-
my thought.
Yeah,
And
I mean-
again, no offense, Until Dawn, but you don't really fall into
Yeah.
my remake or remaster category.
Yeah.
I didn't play you off rip, let alone do I
There's
give a shit.
also-
$60.
There's also another like funny wrinkle to this in that there's an Until Dawn movie coming out with none of the actors from the game because they're all
Ooh.
too
Cool.
old to play those ages physically.
Yeah, but I mean,
So like there's gonna be can we stop remaking games that are good too?
No.
can we
like-
stop remaking games
we-
that we just flat out do not need a remake or a remaster of?
No. Especially like
Yeah.
it should be we should have like a 2-gen limit, right? You can't remake a game or remaster even a game unless it's been 2 generations back. Like if you want to remaster something that's on a 360 or PS3 originally, bet. Like go for it.
Yeah.
Last gen, motherfucker? I don't even consider this gen to be like new school gen anymore. I'm like,
Mhm.
I definitely
Right.
back your idea of the 2-gen limit kind of a thing, especially
Right.
considering the simple fact of look at the console generations going back. Basically, the PS3 era, so PS3 360, that's when HD really started to come in.
yes.
Anything before that, we're talking standard definition, basically, and it's
Right.
like, okay, cool,
Uh-oh.
we've got blurry textures and pixel art for like everything, and
Yeah.
very blocky people with like bricks for hands. Oh,
Like,
I'm picking this up.
If you wanna fucking remaster Wii games, go for it.
Yeah,
Like nobody, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? The Wii was technically like 3 generations back, right?
Yeah.
But because that was still SD, it wasn't even HD.
Mhm.
Like, go for it. Like, I'm about that life. Go for it. What are you gonna do? Round off your adorable little fucking Mario eyes? Yeah, I'm cool with that. Like, I'm fine with that. I just don't, especially because. No offense, Xbox fucking X1 XX or fucking PS4. Like, dude, this current generation isn't that much better than the last one, frankly.
oh yeah,
Like graphically in
Mhm.
Yep.
particular. Dude, there are so many Xbox One games and PS4 games that I still look at and go, yeah, this still looks good.
Yep.
Like literally to this day,
Absolutely.
2024, like it still looks good.
oh yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes this even weirder in the sense
Mhm.
that we're
And $60.
completely
Yeah,
And also $60.
remaking a game that still is cheap, accessible, runs
Yes.
on the PlayStation 5,
Yes.
and looks good.
Yes.
Still. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Nothing about Until Dawn
And-
looks bad or is aged.
And that it's a linear ass fucking one time you've read it and it's like reading like Murder on the Orient Express and then being like, okay, now we are changing the font for here's the new version. We would also like another fucking $60 for this new book.
yeah.
The outcome is still the same. Like, what do you want from me? I don't know what like to tell you. Like, no. At least with like some things like Gears, right? Okay, you were beautiful in the 360 and you kind of still frankly look good. Why are we remaking Gears 1? Like, do you remember that remaster? I was like, yeah, it does look a little better, but it's the exact same fucking game. What are we
Yeah.
doing here? It's a linear
on-
title.
It's
Like,
accessible on the console that you would need to play it
yes.
through
Yes.
their service that they're
Yes.
pushing on you.
Yes, it is very odd. Like those decisions are just odd to me. But you're right. To come back to your point, yeah, money, and I'm sure maybe the 2 diehard ass fucking fans of Super Giant. Is that right? The company that makes that Super Giant. I think it's Supergiant. If I'm right, somebody owes me a
think-
gentleman's
I think-
dollar.
Super massive.
Super massive. Damn it. I knew it was something like really ostentatious, but I couldn't remember. Damn it. Also ostentatious.
There is a super giant, but
Yeah.
they're the Hades team.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I always mix those two up. But yeah, like yeah, this just feels
they're
like money
synonyms.
grubbing bullshit. Like this is just money grubbing bullshit.
Oh,
Like,
God, yeah.
and like I see why
Yeah,
people are
it's-
having this
it's-
conversation.
Well, also keep in mind
I
it's
can't wait to have
Sony.
this. Oh,
True.
I was to say I can't wait to have this
Yeah,
conversation.
is it coming to
again when we
PC
see-
even?
It is
That
coming to
would make a
PC.
little more sense.
It is coming to PC. I also can't wait to have this conversation again when the Horizon Zero Dawn remake comes out, probably next year on PlayStation 5.
Oh my god.
Yes, they are already remaking the first Horizon.
Jeez. I'm wondering when some corporate asshole is going to sit there and be like, "Oh, we should remake this game," and people are like, "Yeah, sure, it just came out on the latest current gen console, but let's remake it because why? Money, yeah, okay,
Mhm.
yeah, that makes sense." It's like, what the
Well, like Last of Us
fuck?
Part 2 got a remaster on PS5, which again, the game's available digitally, PS4, plays backwards compatible on PS5. Just patch it. Like
Yep.
that's the thing. Like we're and at the end of the day, I almost don't even care about the money, like the cost necessarily. Like yes, that is annoying and that's a whole aspect, but that is so much wasted development time
Oh god,
on
yeah.
something that we don't need.
Mhm.
Like that I know people always say like, "Oh, why is this company making this? It means they're not making this now." And like, well, that's not necessarily always true. This feels like especially like as close to that as it could actually be, where it's like that team could have been doing literally anything else and I would have been more excited. I don't understand why we're already like, all right, we got to stop what we're doing and we need to bring The Last of Us Part 2 one generation forward, but we need to put so much work in that we feel obligated to charge an additional price for it instead of it being free. Like that's the thing. Like we're free updates. Like free updates should be the norm. I'm sorry, but
So speaking of that, I'm gonna take this fucking and run with it, because this makes for an excellent segue. Thank you, Paul.
Cool.
So Hunt. You guys know what Hunt is? The
Yep.
game that came out in 2018. I really like Hunt Showdown. I think that game is really, really great. I think that the fact that they have still been supporting it all along, even though, like, what's their biggest title? Crisis, maybe, right? Like, so Hunt Showdown just got relaunched. Did you guys know this?
Okay.
did not.
So it is now okay, ready? It went from Hunt Showdown to Hunt Showdown 1896. So basically the premise is the original one was in the early 1800s, so this is flashing forward several decades so that like,
Right.
guns can be a little more updated cuz the guns are a little unforgiving in Hunt. If you don't have good aim and you miss with a bullet and someone does have good aim and he makes his bullet, welp, you're dead. Hunt is also a PvEVP game, right? So you're all on the same map and there's like, I love this game. Anyways, so this game came out in 2018. And it's crazy to me that Crytek is still supporting it, frankly. They have a very, very rabid fan base for this game. Like, makes kind of a lot of other first person shooters kind of a little embarrassed. Is it smaller in scope, number of people? Yeah. I personally have like 200 plus hours on the PC version, and I have probably on 100 hours in the Xbox One version. I love that fucking title. So, this new Jump just launched last week. I'm going to go through some things. This is going to be very boring to you people because you don't really know much about it, but I'm going to try to keep it fucking very concise. He said, even though knowing he was Alex Quino. Moving on. All right. So, first of all, it's an overhaul, moves it to CryEngine 5.11. As we all know, the CryEngine has been making all the Crytek games, including Crysis 1, 2, and 3. I can't remember what the other title was that it did, but it kind of sucked. It's a beautiful fucking engine.
Oh,
It's
God,
like it literally. I have like again. I'll say this right now. Hunt Showdown has the best, most dynamic looking fire I have ever seen in video gaming. It is crazy town how good fire looks. The lighting, the actual movement of the fire. It doesn't look like it's some piece of shit PNG that's just slapped into the middle of, you know what I'm saying? So
They did Rise Son of Rome.
yes, they did Rise Son of Rome as well. What a surprise, because it's a fucking beautiful game, but it's boring as shit.
Yeah.
They're not
And it's
story
like
ain't
5
their
hours
fucking
long.
yeah, story ain't their forte. David Fifield said this last November. I brought this up for a particular reason. It got to like, if we were going to keep doing stuff for this, we are going to have to raise the minimum specs and we're going to have to move to a new engine. That was last November. And it's cool that that's actually what they did. And again, I not only have bought Hunt twice, I have bought several in-game items. Their system is, they have skins for dudes, but they don't do anything. I've also bought skins and season passes because I like the team and I like the game and I like a lot of the people who play it. What this new engine is doing from this initial report is it is a leap in visual fidelity, including improvements across textures, lighting environments, animations, and more. Hunt has been upgraded to DirectX 12, which is crazy. Not to be computer nerds about this, DirectX 12 ain't new.
Yep.
Like, right? Like that ain't new. Like
Mhm.
they had to upgrade to get to 12, which is crazy. Which is great and just makes performance better. For the most part, Hunt is a very huge PC community. A new light cache system with specular tracing for multi-bounce global illumination, meaning even higher lighting and more depth for environmental visuals, as well as richer darkness, which thank fucking God, because if you get a nighttime map, good fucking luck, bro. Good fucking luck. That shit, you die so, like, whoo. Next, water and hair shaders, which I did look into. They do look way better. They did, this is gross. They improved foam, flow, and turbulence. Ugh, like, say that less gross next time. They're talking about the water and that, and I get it, but ugh.
God.
They added DLSS for frame rate performance and boost for sharper graphics. And lastly, improve the cryspatial audio and audio slapback audio ecosystem, providing clarity of sound, definition, and immersion, which is really good. Because I got to tell you, other than Rainbow Six Siege, hi Nick, other than Rainbow Six Siege, I have never, he just grumped up onto the bed. I've never had a game where sound matters so much. Like, because it's in the 1800s, if you hear this, like the sound of a single gunshot and it sounds almost like a firework, you really got to know, like, was it up this way? Was it back this way? Was it just to my left? Like, it's really important. So the fact they updated that is actually really good, because it's not that it was bad before, it was just okay. But there was a lot of times where I'd be like, it's in this, and I got decent headphones, like it's in this general area, which is great. So, a new biome, a new scorched earth event, which is just literally everything's on fucking fire, which is rad because it just highlights how good the fire is. They also have a new types of boss monsters or non-boss monsters. So like that's the other thing that like she's making food, so he's very
Yeah.
excited about that. So the original cast only had 9 different non-boss monsters, which is like fine. But they added in new ones of those. A new map, Mammoth Gulch, a relatively radiant and crisply defined alpine playground, which is cool. They've never had snow before. And a new boss monster who isn't in a location. So the way that like Hunt always has worked is that like there's multiple places where bosses could be, like big ass barns and shit. They've never had one that could just roam the wild, and this motherfucker can just roam the wild. And because they increased the prettiness of fire, this dude just belches fire and sets everything on fire when you try to get near him. Hell yeah.
Nice.
All right. So here's where we're to come around from the positive Alex being positive Alex. They also changed the new user interface. Once again, this is now their third swing at bat. Their third swing at the user interface. It is designed to be more intuitive, less complicated for new players to pick up, which is true. I got to tell you, on console, Hunt's user interface was garbage, is the adage I would use. So this new one, of course, is now catching a lot of flack because of the old guard are like basically the only people who are still playing this game, and you kind of shook up their shit. But I see why they did it, because they are trying to get new players in. This actually is a live service game.
Yeah.
Like they've been supporting it for fucking years now. So it went from them having mostly a solid, mostly positive to mostly negative literally in 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
God, dude, what is wrong with you people? And I get it, like, this is kind of like new for you, but this is like I got a little schmidge here. The complaints range basically rants about bugs. It's a complete. I just saw Derv literally jumping into Hunt Showdown 1886 or 1896. By the way, just came up on my screen. Super funny. So the complaints are ranging from bugs. It's a major overhaul. Come on, people. New nuances such as bullet drop changes. Really? Like, who is bitching about bullet drop changing in your trajectory? Okay.
Apparently people are.
Those
Right.
people that are there from day one.
Right. Those guys
it used to drop at this much rate. It's
right.
like, dude, fuck off.
That's what I'm saying, right?
Hey, to be fair, that's like adding a frame or two to like a normal in a fighting game.
I don't disagree.
Changes the
I don't
dynamic
disagree.
of the game.
Yeah.
And especially when you only have like seriously one bullet, and then you're like, bagoof.
You're
like
that shot has always worked, and now it doesn't.
No, it doesn't, and I do understand that.
But my question to those people who are bitching about the bullet drop changes, okay, how many times have you guys out there tested software that has been on this version of either the engine or DX whatever, and then now it got upgraded to this? How many bugs did you guys find? It's like there are so many goddamn issues.
And there is also the placebo effect too.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
Like whenever you put something live, there is the placebo effect, especially off rip.
Mm-hmm.
People are like, "Oh, this is way stronger," or "This is way weaker," and then time goes by.
Piles,
right, and then time goes by, and then and then you find out no, nothing was changed here. Like you know what I'm saying, and everyone goes, "Oh, okay." Now let's go to the actual one that I was like, okay. So when you start the game, it instantly launches you into the store. Oof. That's not so great. Like in the advertising and buy.
Yeah.
That's not lovely. Especially when, like, seriously, some of these dudes, like, like I almost wish I could like look up Paul's right now. Like I was playing with him on the Xbox, and then when I had to buy this PC, he was the one who was like, "Are you gonna buy Hunt again?" And the other thing that's great about Hunt, because it's been out for years, it's $20 normally. And when it goes on sale, it's $7. There's like, if you have any inclination, and it's only 3-man squads, so it's not hard to find other people to play with. It's worth the money. Like, so it's a double-edged sword.
No,
Those people
Like it got
aren't.
bumped up to $30 with this update, though.
Oh, did it really?
Mhm.
You know what?
Yeah.
Good. That makes sense. Like you
It's on sale
completely
for
changed.
24 right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
See, okay,
But,
that's
yeah.
even better, right?
Yeah.
So like you jack the price back
Did
to
old
30
players
bucks.
get the update for free?
Yes. Yep. 100% for free.
Cool.
100%.
See,
Like
then that's
It's worth it then.
I think that all of these things are like mitigated easily, just being like, come on, man. Like I'm sorry some things are different, but like, maybe this will bring in new players. I like the idea that like a time jump has happened. I'm interested in seeing some of the new weapons. Because decades have gone by now, there'll be maybe some more modern fucking guns. Dude, the fucking sniper rifles in like original Hunt Showdown are like a dirty tin can lid with like a fucking Sharpie drawn on it. I would like a fucking sniper scope, please and thank you. But it was trying to be, historically accurate.
Yeah.
so
Can't fault
I
them for
don't know.
that.
Yeah. I just think this is interesting because it is a major thing that this company did for free.
Mhm.
And of course, they're facing a bunch of backlash from the people who are playing it. But I think in the long run, people will just go, okay, this is just the new way it is. It is a little unfortunate to drop people right into advertising. Nobody likes that.
Yeah.
Like, nobody likes that.
No, that's just bad optics. Like you
Right.
could that could be such an easy fix, and hopefully they actually do that. Because the first thing you see when you boot up your game should not be, hey, give us more money.
Especially a game you paid for.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
I mean, it's it's shitty enough in free games, but yeah, definitely in paid games.
Yeah. One of my people in chat here is pretty sure you won't have a proper scope in that time period. And it's like I'm not thinking that you're expecting a proper scope,
No,
but
I'm not
something better than a hole in a tin can lid.
Yeah, like I'm not expecting a 2x holo scope. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, but what I am expecting is like at least for the lines to meet in the middle. Like 'cause seriously, the snipers were like, okay, they go to here, and then the one would go here, and then they would stop. There's just this big negative space in the middle. I'm like, son of a bitch, man! Like, put the lines together. Do this at the very least, you bastards. But
I did Google it. The first telescopic rifle sight was invented in 1776.
Okay, so it's very possible then.
They did not fuck around.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
dude, the devs really care about that game. And you know
Okay,
what?
cool.
Honestly, frankly, hey, big boy, we just have the dog show going on. I think that the fact that they are still doing this and they don't really have any other properties that are like crushing in the sales department. I think they look at that cutie. Look at that cutie. Love you, Henry.
Cool.
Yeah, look at his head. He's got a bunch of little
Little
Aw.
scratches. He looks like a tough guy. Looks like me after an average night of drinking.
Sweet boy.
I think that like at the end of the day, people will get over this, and I'm just glad that like Crytek is still supporting this
Oh, yeah.
title.
Yeah.
How many other companies do we bitch about every week? Make a game 6 months later, boo, fuck that game. You
Yep.
know, like, so we should be, if you are into first person shooters and you even have one other friend, you can play in groups of 1, 2, or 3. Buy Hunt, dude. It's really fun. If you have one other buddy, it is just a good time. It is just a good time. All right, I'm done now. I'm not.
I
I'm
was looking
also
at
not
the,
a paid advertisement.
I was looking at the monster designs while you were talking. Yeah, there's some pretty cool monster.
Yeah.
designs.
Yeah, it's also got one of the most horrifying spider bosses I've ever seen in my entire life. That literally goes. It is the worst. It is, I hate that boss so much.
Yeah, considering the simple fact of while you were telling all the upgrades that they made to it, I was actually looking on Steam, being like, okay, let's look at this game a little bit. Looked at some of the reviews. I find it funny that people with like 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 hours in the game, they're just today sitting there going negative review, and the best one that I got a little bit of a chuckle at was bugs and new UI suck so bad they're worse than the Australian breakdancer. And it's like,
That review is gonna
Yeah.
age like milk, but that's very funny.
yeah.
Like currently, that's funny.
Also, watched a little bit of the trailer that they had on the Steam page. The boss where like he comes out of nowhere and then just like thrusts his arms forward and barbed wire just comes spewing. It's like, holy.
And like I gotta tell you this, like again, I like if you guys want to ever play, I love this game. I will play it fucking any day of the week. Certain bosses have certain weaknesses to things. So the spider, which I didn't know it was on the PC, so I'd already played it for an entire 100 hours prior. Paul and I were playing one day, and he goes, "Oh yes, there's a fucking sledgehammer," and I was like, "So?" And he goes, "Dude, if you hit the spider with a sledgehammer, it does like 6 times the damage." And I was like, "Really?" And he's like, "It's a bug." Yeah. And I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit. And he ran up to it and he like literally just went, whoop, whoop, and the bar goes, shaboof. And I was like, oh my God, dude. Okay, yeah, that does make my life a little bit easier. I can't believe I never like this. So there's a lot of nuance to it. Like, it's
Yeah.
just a great game. And if you have a rig that is like, because like,
Yeah.
mine, I can't wait to see it. I've already reinstalled it. Like, I can't wait to see what that game looks like. Like, I should have played today, to be honest with you, but Paul wasn't around. So, anyways, all right, done. Moving on, please. Oh,
And I was gonna say, it's little things like that, as far as like, okay, it's a arachnid, the sledgehammer. It's things like that, the little details that when a dev studio does things like that,
Right.
it just makes the game that much better.
And
because
again,
it means
this is
they
not
care
just
about it.
PvE.
Yeah.
Other players are also there. So you hear gunshots in the distance and you're trying to kill the boss. You're like, dude, we have got to end this guy quick.
Yep.
Because you drop the boss and then you have to cast like an incantation on him, which you have to stand there in real time for a minute and a half. And the entire like proximity gets alerted that like this boss is going. Dude, then you have dudes coming out of nowhere and you're all in the windows like,
Damn.
oh my God. Okay. Somebody's in the field. I'm gonna take a shot. Dude, that game is heart fucking, dude. Oh my God. A Hunt is one of, if not the best multiplayer PvE games on the market, period in a statement. I will die on that hill. Like, I love that game. All right, now we're done. Move on. But yeah, so if you want to pick that thing up, because it's only $24, I'll play that shit with you.
Wish listed.
Nice.
I'm not gonna pick it up right now, but I've at least thrown it on my wish list to be like, I've heard
You let me
positive
know-
things
you
about
let
this.
me know the day you want to play. Also, I do like progression ramps because you start off at level 1 and you
Yeah.
have nerd shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Also, you know what's cool? God damn it. This is the last thing. When you have a character and you load up with your guns and shit, that character can level and progress, and there's like skill trees and shit.
Mhm.
If you die in game after you have progressed through 20 levels of your own personal like IRL experience, there's like 2 bars. After you get past that and you die in game, you lose that dude permanently.
Oof.
Holy shit, man. So like every round you're like, "Oh my God, please, dude. I just have this gun. I just want to keep this gun." And then like you get winged to the back and then I turn around and I go, "Lucier, where the fuck were you, dude? I was getting shot at. I was yelling the entire time." Like dude, it's so good. That game is just incredible. Like I just love it. Okay, I'm done. I promise you. As a matter of fact, I'm going to get a beer. That way I can't talk anymore. Look,
Okay.
I'm
There
leaving.
you go.
Alrighty. Let's
guess that
see
means it's your
here.
turn.
Yeah, I'm wondering, do I pull out one of my extras that I have, the extra one that I have here, or do I continue with what I posted in our chat? Let's continue with what I posted in chat. Worst case scenario, we loop back to the extra, which I don't think we'll have time for, though. To be
Yeah,
honest.
save the small ones because there's some big ones this week.
Yeah. So, Alex should hear this too, considering one of the games that he really enjoys will be affected by this if it turns out that this happens.
Okay.
So I'm assuming you know, Paul, at least what kernel level anti-cheat is.
I mean, not directly,
But vaguely, you at least know of it.
I can put 2 and 2 together.
Okay.
The game is
Alex, I'm assuming you know what kernel level anti-cheat is.
Yeah, of course.
A la Valorant.
Yeah.
Okay. By any chance, do you guys remember a little incident that happened, I believe it was last month, it was CrowdStrike, the company that unfortunately fucked up their update that they released?
Oh, the Microsoft thing?
Yeah,
Yes.
Basically, the company called CrowdStrike released an update for their software. The downfall was it totally fucked over, like, probably millions of computers, to be honest.
Yeah, it grounded a bunch of flights.
Grounded flights. It totally fucked up
funny enough,
the world.
Southwest was not affected because they were on an older version
Different.
of Windows.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Which is super funny.
Yeah. But the thing is, though, because of that, Microsoft is now thinking maybe we shouldn't be giving people, like the world, kernel level access. Meaning Riot's anti-cheat that they use in Valorant and the rest of their games, that could be going away.
Yeah, that's not gonna work though. Like I know what you're talking about, but that's never gonna happen. Because like at the end of the day, it's still what's gonna if that was ever gonna be the case, like anyone could sue them and be like, dude, I can't access like the baseline of my PC. It's my PC. I paid you for, like, they would be sued. Like I see you because I read an article the other day about it. At the end of the day, it's not gonna work. Like I like what like because it's funny because they think like, well, it wasn't on us. Well, yeah, but you have to rely on other people too, right? Like other software.
Right.
Like,
But at the
Also,
same
like,
point in
don't throw
time,
your partners under the bus like that.
would be another thing. Like there's a lot of things that just this wouldn't really work. Because again, we could all say collectively we could sue them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Saying I can't access the core of my PC if I have Windows, which is legitimately illegal. It's my PC. I should be able to access DOS and the core of my PC.
but they still give you ways to access DOS.
True.
It's a lot effectively even deeper down than DOS.
Mm-hmm.
That they're contemplating, do we allow people access to this portion of it?
Right.
And I just find it very interesting that, like, okay, currently with kernel games that use kernel level anti-cheat, it's one of the strongest levels of anti-cheat that's out there. Games that use it basically have little to no
access.
Cheaters in the game for the most part.
It's root access.
Yeah.
It is the basement of your house.
Right.
Like for your PC.
Right.
Yeah.
But I just find it interesting that it's like, okay, if Microsoft threatens to get rid of kernel level access, it then turns into these games, if the anti-cheat is forced to go away, you're gonna, like, those games are just gonna unfortunately suffer horribly with cheating.
Yeah. And then they're gonna get sued to fucking hell and back. Like it's just not gonna work. Like this is like a PR thing that they think is a good idea that, like, in the end of the day it's just not gonna work. Like it's just like because ostensibly
Well,
the user always has to have admin, even though morons don't know how to access that. Like users have to have admin. Like they have to be like now. Oh, Paul's
Paul
having
froze.
Yep.
Yep.
In the middle of a migraine, apparently.
Yeah, I guess.
Maybe his kernel was accessed.
No.
we'll talk to fucking Microsoft. I don't think this is ever gonna work because it's like I see what they're saying, but the fact of the matter is you just got to make your shit better, bro. Sorry, like that's really what it boils down to, because you have to allow the user and other software to access that level of PCs. You have to. That's just part of the end user agreement, right? Is that like I still have like admin, even though you don't have admin access automatically, right? You have to tell Windows, I am the admin. My profile is admin, so let me do anything. But they do restrict normal profiles. When you make a Windows profile off RIP, it doesn't just have admin access, which I also find fascinating that they don't trust people to click buttons. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because
I
people
know.
are stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there's and then if, like fuck it, like let's talk about IT.
Yeah.
IT software also. There's just no way this is gonna work. Like it's just there's just no way.
Part of the reason why I bring this up though is because the simple fact of the article I read about this is basically pitching it from the standpoint of there's all these great games that unfortunately don't work on the Steam Deck because the Steam Deck is a Linux-based OS.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore games that require like Valorant kernel level access, it's a different OS, and all of a sudden it's like, wait, hold it, something's wrong here.
Right.
So therefore,
which is why they would get sued. Which is exactly why they would get sued.
But with it being a Linux-based OS, you already have kernel level access.
Right. But they didn't. The software wasn't programmed to use Linux in that way to access the kernel. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's why. Also, we've started to say kernel so many times it's starting to sound weird to me. You know what I'm saying? Like when you blueberry.
But I mean, ultimately, I just find this one article funny because he's like, oh yeah, this will be great for when we get rid of kernel level access, kernel level anti-cheat, blah, blah, blah. The very first comment. It sounds like some of these people who have never played an FPS game and that's fine and all, that's fine and all, but these games are currently overrun with cheaters. And it's like, great. So you guys who are wanting the end of kernel level anti-cheat, are you going to be running to these games that will then be just like, oh look, it's a lobby full of cheaters. I stand no chance.
My other thought is this, like, dude, like now, granted, I am a gross sexual human being. I don't care if the FBI had access to my PC. They would see gross shit, but it's all gross legal shit. Like, you know, like I don't care if somebody has access to the kernel of my PC. Like, what are you hiding? What do you bring? Like keeping nuclear codes in your PC? No, you're not. You're just some weirdo. Like
when I talk to people who are like, oh, I don't want to be on a database, or I don't want to be this, or I don't want to be that. Like, hey, you already are.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah.
But like terabytes of information on you.
There's no such thing as off the grid if
No.
you live anywhere with
if you have any sort of technology at all.
And usually from
like
I was gonna say, and usually from the experience that I've learned from people inside, because yes, I do work with government people. It's the people that sit there and try to be off the grid get more attention paid to them.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, because they're
like,
dangerous.
Dude, just be normal.
Yeah.
Like if you want to steal shit at the grocery store, be polite, say hi, tell people their hair looks good, and then just 1 and 2. It's very easy. Like I don't understand.
By the way,
said too much about myself.
Not that we
It's
promote stealing.
I do.
It's called semantic satiation when a word starts to sound weird as you repeat it.
Oh, is that right?
Ah, okay. Good.
Colonel.
Semantic satiation. Yeah.
Colonel.
Colonel.
I
Also,
just,
Alex is human?
no.
No. That's
I'm
blue.
the most human. Oh yeah, blue. Blue like you don't know. I'm like the most human that's ever existed. Gross human, but human. I think that like I like all of this is like a knee jerk reaction, right? This is a knee jerk reaction.
Yeah.
Like and it all you always have to say something. This was
Also,
a big security leak, you know, like
Microsoft and bad PR.
I know.
Exactly.
God.
Also, or communication skills. Come on, like Jesus Christ, all these fucking
Microsoft,
like,
they would never. They
they're,
are always
oh hey, you remember
so
when the Xbox? You
thoughtful.
remember when the Xbox One was supposed to be always online and had to check in every 30 minutes, and we all went no, and they went okay. Like you know what I'm saying? Like,
Or do you
dude,
remember we have a console for you that doesn't require an internet access? It's called the
Right.
Xbox 360.
Yeah.
right,
It's
right.
like,
and then they went
way to shoot
okay.
yourself in the foot. Woohoo.
Right, like, come on, man.
I,
Like,
I
this is
remember
just-
that at the drop of a hat, like 15 years later.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
dude,
believe me,
right?
yeah,
like,
that,
come on,
that
dude.
kind of stuff
Get out of
lingers,
here.
So let's
Like, whatever. Like, oh, you mean the kid who shit his pants? That happened in 5th grade. People don't forget. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, I'm sorry, dude. Like, get out of here. Like, this is just a knee jerk thing that they have to say. Because legitimately,
yeah.
they would end up getting sued. This would not fly in the face of so many reasons. And like the least of all is video games. In all honesty, this is just software and again, IT need that kind of shit. Or the other thing is, let's say it does go by, and then guess what? Every company that literally that right now, every company in America, 95% of companies use Windows as their base OS system. You know what happened? It'd be 2% people would use Windows. You know what I'm saying? Like they would literally be shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of those situations where everyone goes, no, and they're gonna go, okay, and then they just turn around and walk back.
To the point of IT, I will sit there and say yes and no. Yes and no, in that the smaller companies, the IT departments who don't have either the knowledge or the financial ability to, yes, they're probably running Windows on their servers.
Most
The yeah.
on general PCs at the companies.
General PCs, yes. I'm talking servers though.
No,
servers.
right.
IT is always like, no, we're Windows. No, delete that. We're installing
Yeah,
Linux.
no, I agree. I agree. But I'm not. In the office, that is 95%.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like, that is
yeah.
95%.
Yeah.
Like,
I
and
mean-
by the way, try to retrain office workers. Ha! Like, good luck with that.
Yeah,
Like,
we
good luck with that.
In the 7 years that I've worked at UC Berkeley, we've had one person in our office use Mac over Windows.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah,
you know,
it was. Let me tell you how much of a hassle that was security wise for them to clear that.
right.
Yep.
Right. It's just this
She
is
got it. She got
this
her
ends, this
laptop,
ends up
but-
this is gonna end up being a nothing burger ass fucking response. But I get it, like
Yeah,
from their
yeah.
perspective. Like, although again,
You
we should
gotta
just
say
go.
something, I guess.
Yeah, you gotta say something, but please, sometimes you don't. Like, you know, like just shut up. Like,
I don't want to say that we'll obviously not see anything come of this,
Mhm.
but I think it's something to kind of, at the very least, in the back of our minds, be like, okay, this was something
100%.
that came up. What's going on with this now? Because something else just came up about it, kind of a thing.
and it very well may.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times
Yeah.
in this show's history have we been like, do you remember this story from 2 fucking years ago? And we're all like,
Oh yeah, we did
well, here's
report
the
on
fucking
that.
results now. Like,
Yep,
yeah, exactly. All right, I gotta take a slash. Paul, you want
All right.
to start?
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna throw one out that I didn't put in there because I completely forgot. And then we were talking about Microsoft, and my brain went, "Oh yeah, Tango GameWorks is back."
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. A fucking kind of
Yeah.
W.
We did not. I completely, and this happened like I want to say about a week ago or so, like 8 or 9 days ago. And I was like, oh, we have to talk about this on the show. And then I completely forgot when I was getting stories today. But then it came back to me. So for those who don't know, Microsoft recently, back in I think it was May now, shut down the Hi-Fi Rush developer
Hmm.
Tango GameWorks, a Japanese team. Pretty decent catalog. They didn't make a lot, but everything that they made was
Yep.
pretty decent quality.
Evil Within 1 and
People
2.
really like yeah, there are two
Yep.
Evil Within games.
Ghostwire
Hi-Fi Rush,
Tokyo.
by all
Hi-Fi
means.
Rush. Yep.
Yeah, Ghostwire Tokyo is a beautiful game. That's all I'll say.
Never played it, but yes, I do agree with that.
It is one of the best visual representations of a city that you get to explore. Like, just from a pure like visual processing power standpoint, it is gorgeous. Like, their version of Tokyo is absolutely stunning and feels very much like a metropolitan playground, if you will. Not to sound corny.
Okay.
But anyway, so the Hi-Fi Rush developers, Microsoft shut them down back in May. We don't need to go into all that because we could talk about that forever. But interestingly enough, the PUBG publisher Krafton picked them up. Basically brought back, reopened Tango GameWorks. They hired half of the staff back. So out of 100 people that got laid off, at least 50 got their jobs back right out of the gate. Also interesting, and this is really surprising, is that Microsoft sold them the Hi-Fi Rush IP as well.
Really?
From what I understand, they did not get the other stuff. So they did not get Evil Within. They did not get they did not get Ghostwire. They didn't get anything else, but they got Hi-Fi Rush, and they have confirmed that Hi-Fi Rush 2 is the first major project that they are now working on.
Yeah, that I can see. I mean,
So that's awesome. One company's loss is another man's gain, another company's gain.
Yep.
Hi, Nick. Hi-Fi Rush was great.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's no reason that studio should have been on the chopping block.
Yeah.
We've talked about this a million times, but a little bit of good news finally.
Yep.
Every
Hey,
once in a while,
we'll take the win when we can.
The more high profile companies get this, kind of saving grace.
I can't remember who bought them.
The PUBG.
Yeah,
I said it. The
which is
PUBG
a
publisher
little
Krafton.
unfortunate because that is like a Chinese conglomerate. But okay, I'll still take it because that's cool.
Yeah.
Like whatever. At least they saved the studio, so whatever.
Well, they must have seen something, that they wanted, and then to the fact that they also, I mean, it's smart, but they bought the Hi-Fi Rush IP from Microsoft.
Oh, yeah.
That's.
I wonder. I wish we knew what the number was.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like it'd be interesting.
Yeah,
because I have a feeling
they'll never.
No,
say
I know
that,
we'd never find out, but like it would be interesting to be like, oh yeah, no, they bought it back for like $87. Like you know what I'm saying? Like that's how little fucking
Right.
Microsoft cared about it. Like which would be hilarious and terrible.
Well, if
but
they
yeah.
were relatively intelligent, they would have really wanted the Hi-Fi Rush IP, but they clearly didn't give a shit about it.
No, they clearly didn't give a shit. Rich has got a very serious face on.
South Korean, not Chinese.
Ah, okay. Well,
so
South Korean,
not as bad, especially considering something else I've got coming up my sleeve here.
Okay.
That did not come out correctly.
There aren't any immediate political landmines to worry about with that purchase. Yeah. At least on a face value, I'm sure, like anybody else, any other gigantic publishing
mega conglomerate,
there are things
which I will automatically go
but,
boo.
Yeah.
But again, like PUBG is another series that is still, going strong.
Yeah.
PUBG Mobile is still big.
Still clicking along. Yeah.
It gets like weird. There was like a really weird PUBG like cross promotion recently where I was like, that is super weird. Oh, I can't remember. Can't remember. I'll have to look it up later and talk about it. But yeah, so some good news. You know,
Yeah.
we will see Hi-Fi Rush 2, and we will see, you know, at least on paper, publicly, a developer actually backing the release of the game, as
Yep.
opposed to shutting the company down and then saying we need more games like this, and it's just a blank box art because they won't say the name. But yeah, so that's awesome. Yeah, I can't believe I completely forgot to bring that story to the table, because you know we try to celebrate those rare
those
wins.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will be there. I will be there day one with Hi-Fi Rush 2 because that game was awesome.
Yeah, I liked
Mhm.
I liked the first one a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Rich, what were you saying?
Yeah.
What did you need to say?
I saw a ooh, wait.
Okay.
Does this
Do you want me to start this
actually
next story?
have the
I also
Get the fuck out of my
while
way,
you're
you stupid ads.
doing that, I also love that apparently Microsoft thinks Evil Within and Ghostwire Tokyo are IPs to hold on to, but not Hi-Fi Rush. Because they didn't get Krafton didn't get Evil Within or Ghostwire Tokyo.
I mean, they do need a fucking horror title though. Too bad.
Are they gonna? Do you think they're gonna put out an Evil Within 3? And
Probably
who
not
they,
for a
Who in
while.
their in-house would they even give it to?
I don't know. Not Shinji Ikami, that's for sure, because that second one was fucking kind of bad.
Well, he's got his own thing now, doesn't he?
Okay, so can I go?
Yeah, go. I thought I had
Okay.
found something that specified the sale amount, but no, it didn't.
Okay. So all right, this is gonna be like a conversation about sportsmanship. So I wanted to bring this because I thought this was interesting, and this just happened at the championships of Valorant last weekend. So there is two teams playing. I'm going to try to do this without anybody needing to know anything about esports. There's two teams playing, G2 and Liviton. And it is the semifinals of the upper bracket. And G2 had been getting their head kicked in. They lost the first map in a Valorant. If you lose 2 games, you lose. So it's best 2 out of 3, right? Second game comes along, and they are down at this point 8-4. In Valorant, the first team to 13 round wins. So they're down. The cool thing about Valorant, and actually this is the same way that CSGO, CS2 now, CS2 works, is at the halfway point, everybody loses all their money and you get a pistol round is what it's called. Everyone has $800, and so it's basically a way for, if you're losing, you get to the half point, you win the pistol round, you get more money for your income to buy better
actually
guns.
really like that.
Me
That's
too.
really
It's a really cool mechanic, honestly. But it's very important, right? So if you win that pistol round, you can have more money and more shit to invest back into your own team's economy.
Awesome. I didn't know they did that. That's great.
Yep. So they are down 8-4. Comes up halftime round, they lose the pistol round. So the next round starts, and the entire G2 team on the map they are playing jumps off the side. As soon as the round starts, they jump off the map, killing themselves. Okay. Now, let me explain why this is kind of crazy. One, when you kill an enemy, you get money, right? 2, when you kill an enemy, you get what do they call it? Ultimate orbs, because in Valorant there are abilities that you can use, kind of like Overwatch, right? But your ultimate is dependent on these alt orbs, and everybody's is different. So some people have a shorter amount, you only need 5 kills, or fucking a plant and 3 kills, whatever. But by killing themselves, they gave them no money, for the kills, and they gave them no ultimate orbs. It has never been done ever before in Valorant. No map it could even be done except for this new map. And the commentators were like, that was the shortest round of all time. So basically, by killing themselves, they gave the enemy team nothing. No extra money for guns, no extra ultimate orbs to do their ults. It is not illegal, technically. It has never been done before. So, a content creator and an
I like
analyst.
these guys.
G2? Yeah, G2's kind of a bunch of savages. So, a content creator, an analyst, he works for Riot as an analyst, put out a post on Twitter saying, "This is incredibly disrespectful to the sport, to the viewers, to the opponents, and to the tournament organizers, and should not have been allowed by Riot in the first place to jump off and deny a round like that." Maybe it is not allowed. If that is the case, G2 should be fined. But if it is actually allowed or wasn't predicted by Riot in the first place, that's on Riot. I spoke about this potential problem out loud on day one of Abyss's release, which is the name of the map, because Abyss, obviously. I understand that this negates the 1,000 credits, because if they went into that round, $1,000 would have gone to the other team, and the 5 orbs, because it's one for each player, for the killing of G2. But I think it's literally trolling/throwing of a round by G2. In Valorant, every round is winnable, every round is doable, and you just robbed your team of that chance. Not only that, Lev didn't, that's the other team, didn't have a chance to use a single piece of utility to use the round, which saves a shit ton of cash, and did not have to rebuy any shields, because both armor and helmet in Valorant cost money. It's 500 and 800 to have both. If you wanted to troll this round, if you wanted to troll this round, G2 at least do it properly and jump off after your opponent's planted, so you would waste more time and make them use the utility. So this is the
That guy needs to shut up.
Well, I see some of his points. You know what I'm saying? I see some of his points. Like, I understand.
It's not that his points are wrong. It's the whole, like, that's disrespectful.
It is disrespectful.
Like, I'm sorry. Riot should have fixed it then. If it's in the game, it's fair game.
Yeah.
I see where you are saying that, but that's only because you're you and I'm me. And I play fucking piece of shit Honor, which is dumb. Like, right? That is dumb. Right? I play Honor mode when I don't need to. Right? Whereas you're right. Like, it is on Riot. Like, honestly, this is on them.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
right?
They're the ones who made the map.
Right. You should have never been able to let players walk off of any ledge. Like, you know what I'm saying? If that's like, especially if you're trying to ostensibly mimic Counter-Strike, a game that is all about honor and, like, you know, the gunfights are all that matter. The angles, the gunfights, that's what matters. But the other side of that coin is he's kind of wrong too, because yeah, dude, like, you're right. They're like, I don't know. It was on the map. That is something that, like, no one has ever done before. It wasn't in the contract of the game. Nobody in the tournament said anything about it. Like, but
now,
how much for sportsmanship do we have to, like, start laying down those kind of laws? You know what I'm saying?
They did it once, right? I'm assuming.
Yes.
They did it the one time, and then
they still lost.
Again.
And they still lost.
Yeah.
Overall, right? They still lost. But that was just kind of
Just
like a shiesty thing
Patch
to do.
It out, make it a rule. Yeah.
It's
I
just
don't
kind of
necessarily
shifty.
I don't necessarily disagree with, but at the same time, like
It's
if
funny.
it's there. Yeah, oh, and it's hilarious too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
But if we sit here and start going down the road of, well, you're not supposed to do that, you're not supposed to do that, you're not supposed to do that, we start going down the road of, well, you're playing the game wrong, you need to be playing it this way and only this
Pros are
way
cheap.
because this is how we, the developers, want you, the player, to play our game. And it's
Right.
like, I don't think like you. I'm not you. Why should I be thinking the exact same way you want me to think?
So this is interesting too, and this is something that like I know that you guys won't know, but I'm gonna bring it up anyways because it's a big point in Counter Strike's history. So way back in the day, there was a map called Overpass, and this one team figured out that on this one map, if you stacked 3 guys, so if one dude stood here, another dude jumped on this car and jumped on that dude's head, and then the other guy jumped on the car, and then there was like a little like embankment, and then jumped on that dude's head. It was called the Olaf boost. They literally could see dudes running out of their spawn. And they had their opper jump to the highest point. He was the third guy on this 3-man stack, and he killed 4 of them as they were running out of spawn. Now, you know what happened in that particular instance? They ended up losing the match. The tournament organizers said that that was boosting cheating. Again, I don't know. No one had ever done it before. No one had ever seen it before. Clearly, that team had practiced that exact thing. And they had to wait to the point that their opper, the guy who had the single fucking shot sniper rifle, they had enough money. Like, all of it was in the game. But they ended up losing that. They disqualified them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's in esports in particular, and I'm sure even sports in the beginning, right? Like any sport in the beginning probably has these conversations, right? But with esports, you didn't use like a bug or an exploit to stack 3 dudes on top of each other. That was just how it worked. You just could just
yeah, the game is
stack
built
3
that way
dudes
to
on top
allow
of
you
each
to
other
stand-
in a particular position, and like jumping off the map, kind of the same thing. But is it a little shiesty? Yes.
Yeah, is it in a questionable spirit of
Right.
of a
That's the
competitive
thing.
nature?
The spirit
Sure,
of competition.
You're not gonna get that out of, I'm not gonna defend that to the day I die or anything. But at the end of the day, if there's no rule in place for it and it's not done through anything that isn't already in the game,
It's not an exploit.
Right.
then you address it when the round is over and you go, hey, don't do that again.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is like, okay,
Yeah.
play the round out, and then officials call a timeout and be like, hey, okay, this is your warning. Do not do that again. It is not how the game was intended to be played.
Right.
You do it again, you will be disqualified and forfeit the match, kind of a thing.
Right.
But to sit there and just be like, oh, well, that's bad, it's kind of like, did you guys at Riot think that someone might do this? No?
No.
Then clearly this is your fault, right?
That's what
up.
he was saying too. He was like, dude, at the end of the day, if you guys didn't fucking think this out, that's on Riot. Right? That's on Riot.
Yeah.
And they have had problems with this before. But before, the last 2 ones there was a camera bug. Basically, there's a guy who has like one of his abilities is he can throw a static camera and then watch it so you can see if people are coming past. But there was an area that wasn't like blocked off like by geometry. So it was basically going out of map.
Yeah.
And that made sense to me, right? That feels like that's an exploit. That was you're using a bug, right? And then the other one was about jumping onto this one like shipping container. But it was one character, Jet, who can jump and strafe at the same time, and she could get up there, and they stopped the match mid-match, and they were like, that is a disqualification. Dude, you guys got to make your fucking rules more clear.
Yeah.
Like, if one character can do it, I don't know. I could see both sides, I guess, but like, you shouldn't stop a match midway through because one dude. And by the way, I saw a breakdown video of how much like wiggling you got to do to get her to even land up there. It's one character. It almost felt like a skill thing.
Plus, on
Like,
top
if you
of
can
that,
get somebody who can, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
plus on top of that, were they like warned not to do it, or was it just
No.
you're disqualified?
Nope.
Yeah,
It was-
see that's the other
That's
thing,
bullshit.
too. If
That's
there's-
bullshit
Yeah.
at that point.
Yeah.
And another thing is Death Legion put a very good point in my chat here. Feels like it's getting punished for creativity,
mhm.
and it very much
Which is,
does.
And like in esports and video games in general, isn't that what we always do and want to do?
Yep.
The reason I like being a QA tester for so long is because you give me something and I will fucking break this.
Yeah.
I will break it.
Oh yeah.
I like whatever your little intention is. And as a designer, Alex, I always make stuff and I go, this is gonna get broken. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
you have to have that mentality. You can't be like some Nazi about it and like change the rules mid oof. Like, this is just another example of that.
Yep. And on top of that, if it's like, okay, if we're going to start getting, if we, the players, are going to start getting punished for creativity of how to use our in-game abilities and mechanics of the game
Sure.
that they give us, okay, we, the players,
this
just need to start,
environment.
we, the players, just need to start logging in with bots and go play and then walk away and go do something else.
Right. Right.
Because that's what they want.
I see the absurdity of that. Like, and that's kind of the thing. Like, I see what he's saying, but at the same time, I think this is one of those things where it's like, I think this should be Riot should go, hey, we're gonna make an emergency patch. We're just gonna
Yeah,
wall this
absolutely.
off with an invisible wall. It can't be done again.
Yeah.
And they lost on top of it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so why are we
they
making a big
they gave up a whole round in a like wildly competitive setting. On top
right?
of that.
And again, at the end of that dude's fucking point, he was like, you know what? If you had really wanted to do this, you should have made them waste all their money by because waste your flashbangs, which cost
Sounds
the
like
other
it
team money.
wasn't even a smart tactic.
It really wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like a faster way to be like, okay, well, we give up this round, so whatever. Yeah, I don't know. It's just an interesting. I think that like esports in particular are so new, and that since we have so many different games, it's so interesting to like look at them from all these different angles. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's just funny that like an entire team they were like, "Boo." like fuck it,
Yep.
re-roll that shit. Let's go. Yeah. All
That's
right, I'm
awesome.
done. Yeah, I just want to bring it up.
Alrighty. I guess that means I'm up.
Yup.
So new game that literally just apparently dropped today, I guess. Black Myth Wukong.
Oh, yeah.
From what I hear, it's a really cool game. I've only heard one not so good thing about it, and that's their liberal use of invisible walls. Because there are some like ledges that are knee high, and it's like, oh, it's an invisible wall, and then like you see another knee high ledge, and it's like, oh, I can mount over this one for some reason. Yet the previous ones were invisible walls. But here's the kicker, and the reason why I bring this game up is apparently for the influencers that were gifted keys by the development company and publishing company, there were some do's and don'ts attached to it. The do's list is very short. The do's list is enjoy the game. That's it. That was the entire do's list. So basically they're sitting here saying, have fun with the game. The don'ts, on the other hand, for those who aren't aware, the development and publishing company is Game Science. They're out of China. Considering Wukong, it's Chinese legend, things like that. Totally understandable.
Yeah, it's Journey to the West.
Yeah. But the thing is, though, like, if you gift an influencer a key to your game, you kind of also have to realize, or even just a journalist to review it, you kind of have to realize if you limit what they can and can't say, they're not going to review it. So right off the bat, they sit here and give.
Oh, that's by design.
Well, the thing is, though, it's like,
yeah.
The thing is, though, it's like, okay, the do's, enjoy the game. Okay. The don'ts, don't insult other influencers or players. Well, it's a single player game, so okay. Sure, I guess.
Yeah, don't host a shit talk session while you're playing about some other streamer.
Right. Okay, fine. Don't use any offensive language or humor. Well, that's an excessively broad don't. Like, one could sit there and say, you're talking, that's offensive.
Have you met the internet?
Yeah, exactly.
Like...
So I mean, just that one alone, it's like, okay, one could sit here and, like I said, one could say, you're talking, that's offensive, so shut up. The next one, don't include politics, violence, nudity, feminist propaganda, fetishization, or other content that instigates negative discourse. In a game where you're running around... In a game where you're running around with a staff beating guys up, don't include violence. So what am I supposed to do? Don't use trigger words such as quarantine, isolation, or COVID-19. So if someone comes into my chat and says, "Oh shit, I just got diagnosed with COVID-19," what am I supposed to do?
Nope.
Sorry?
Tell them they're a feminist.
Go the fuck away?
I got unhealthied by
Unhealthy 20. Yeah. Do not discuss content related to China's game industry policies, opinions, news, etc. So basically, don't say shit about China. Don't say shit about how we operate. Don't say shit about anything about negative about the game or negative about China in any fucking way possible.
What are they gonna do?
Exactly. It's like, okay, so you're telling the reviewers and influencers play the game, but
is there a server check when you log into the game?
Don't say anything else about anything
like,
beyond that.
You guys know that this is like a newer studio too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
So
first
like,
game.
Yeah. So what are they gonna do? What's the worst case scenario here?
Like, oh darn! You pull my key, the key for the game. Darn.
Yeah. All this does is just make you look, no offense, more Chinese. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is like an awfully Chinese ass like blanket statement. You know what I'm saying? Like, this sounds a little like we are trying to hush the public. Like, well, you know, also feminist, why did you have to put that in there? Like,
because they're operating how they do things in the company and like that. But here's the thing, is this the company issuing these do's and don'ts, or is this Chinese government issuing these do's and don'ts?
Either way, right? Like,
I would say it does make a difference.
How so?
If you put a game out there and you sit there and say, "Oh, here's this list of don'ts and the do of play the game," why would you sit there and be like, "Oh, hey, world, here we go. Enjoy the game. If you're a reviewer and influencer, play it early so that way you can tell others how awesome our game is." Or would you just sit there and be like, "Hey, if we're just going to give these people like a paragraph of don'ts, I'm just going to be like, yeah, I'm going to restrict it to only those within our iron walls of think what I want you to think, do what I want you to do, say what I want you to say, shit when I want you to shit.
Free Hong Kong.
Well,
That
No one
I
got
lean
that
towards-
joke.
no, I got it, but it's like,
I didn't even hear what you said.
Hearthstone joke, really? Okay,
Yeah.
fine. It was. I know it's 3 years
yeah.
old, but I'm making that joke again.
but I mean,
Free Hong Kong forever.
it's kind of like, why would you release it to the
Oh.
world if
There you go.
you want this so ironclad that you can't say a negative thing about anything in
Well,
the game, the game
they-
development process inside China, or anything about China? It's
the
like-
company Game Science is the developer of the game. I lean more towards it being from them directly.
Me too.
because they have a history of being shitty to their female staff. They apparently have a little bit of a reputation among female developers and fans in China as being kind of misogynistic a little bit towards women.
Mhm.
Yeah. So honestly, nothing about this really
'Cause, like outside of China, like the Chinese government doesn't have like outside of China, the Chinese government has nothing. This
Yeah.
sounds like the company is just very Chinese, like you know what I'm saying, and that
Yeah.
like that's not like nationalist, like that's just like the facts, like you know what I'm saying. They seem like a very Chinese ass company, and they don't want fucking you to be outside worldy. You know what I'm saying? But it comes off really bad because I read that shit too, and I was like, I kind of have less interest in your game now, even though I was a little interested in your game.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah, I thought
dude,
it looked cool as fuck.
Me too, but you know what, dude, I respect China for if you want to do China shit and you're in China, dude, that's your fucking business, man. Right?
Right.
But don't fucking try to come out to the rest of the world and put like your Chinese shit on the rest of us. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I get it. Like,
Yeah.
that sounds fucked up and nationalist of me. But like, dude, come on. Like, like that's not how the rest of the world works. Like, you're still operating in a much older system. And like, you know, this sounds kind of fucked up. Like, you know, like it'd be like a
You're-
Russian game being like, don't say anything about the war between us and the Ukraine. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I would be like, ew,
Yeah.
gross. Like, you know, like I like sorry, no, I'm not doing that. And now I kind of don't like your company. Like it just comes off as bad. Like honestly. And again, they're a new company, so maybe they didn't understand, or maybe they really are so deep in the Chinese communist country, like what's the hell is the word I'm trying to think of? Fuck. Doctrine that like you know, to them this seemed like something that you could say in public. But motherfucker, no. Like that's you know what I'm saying? It's like you ever have like a racist uncle and he says something and everyone else goes, ooh, like you know what I'm saying? And we all go, ooh. Like that's kind of what this sounds like to me.
Oh yeah.
Like your racist ass fucking uncle coming to a fucking dinner and saying some shit that is out of pocket, and everyone goes, dude, what? Like, you know, that's just not how the rest of us think, let alone
Right.
how we would speak to the general fucking public.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, and I said it in one of our group chats, but like the quickest way to get people to do all of these things is to tell
Yeah.
them not to do it.
Yeah, especially on the internet.
Like the fact that that is even a document that was typed out by someone,
Mm-hmm.
like you were literally asking for it in that
Yeah.
scenario.
Oh, yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
know how terrible that sounds, but like
how
you're
the internet works.
begging when you do that, you are begging people to go, all right, cool, I'm gonna talk about all these things now. I've
Yeah.
seen a bunch of people on Twitch who are streaming the game and their like stream name is like feminist propaganda, COVID-19, get a vaccination. And it's like
Right.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know what you were expecting, guys, but
Well, what they were expecting was
Uh,
in China, there'd be some dudes knocking your door if you did that.
Oh god, yeah.
yeah.
But that's just not how the rest of the world works.
Yep.
Like, you know,
It's also
like,
funny too because all the people that are like, "Oh yeah, so happy that someone is standing up to the woke mob finally," and it's like, okay, cool. So free speech,
so you're a communist. So you were literally
Whatever.
a communist. Like,
yeah.
okay, cool. Like
Yeah.
you have a weird standpoint, my guy. Like I don't want to be
Mhm.
that person, but this is weird that you're saying it this way. Yeah, I like I feel like that there's nothing wrong with you saying this in China, right?
Right.
If you sent this out to Chinese streamers, this would not have even been a big deal. But then they were like, and at all, and the rest of the
Well,
world
like you
went,
said,
excuse
because
me.
people would quite literally show up at their door.
Right, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. In China,
Yeah.
this would be like norm, right? That would be a normal thing. But then you hit like send all, and the rest of us went, that's not how things work here. Just gonna.
Yep.
And then there's some fucking
Thanks for the
knobhead.
key.
Yeah, exactly. And what's the worst case scenario? You gotta buy their next game. Who gives a shit? Like this is like for all we know, they never make another game again. Like this is not Nintendo saying this, and you're like, oh, God.
The one thing I will say is they may make another game, but keep in mind, because we did report on this I don't know how long ago. The Chinese government basically sits there and dictates what game can be released, what games can't.
Yep.
And it's like they get thousands upon thousands upon thousands of games to review, and only a couple hundred
Years ago.
make it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Well,
the
that's
fact
why you're
that
seeing such a
this got
big-
out, it's like holy shit.
Yeah. Well, that's why you're seeing such a big push with this game in particular, because it is a Chinese game with a shitload of money behind it. It
Looks good.
from all
Yep.
accounts and purposes. It's a well-made action game.
Mhm.
So of course, the country as a whole, there's a certain level of pride behind
Right.
a game of
Mhm.
this caliber
Yep.
coming out internationally day and date. But yeah, this is not the
Not the
It's
way
not a
to
good
do
look.
it. Yeah.
It's just not a good look,
No,
right?
no,
Like
it's not.
I think it's just one of those things of like, you know what though? Here's the thing. Maybe a couple of these foibles are things that slowly, China does start seeing, hey, internationally, maybe we should start being cooler, but the realism of it is probably not, right?
Well,
Like
I
Marvel
don't know if
movies.
you've-
Right, Marvel movies skew themselves so that they show better in Chinese regions because China's
there
so
was the whole thing
fucking
with John Cena, with one of
Right.
the Fast and the Furious movies, where
Right.
he had the audacity to say Taiwan and
Right.
then had
It,
to
like, it's-
apologize
it,
the
like,
next day for
it's just-
acknowledging Taiwan.
It's weird that like China and Russia, like in particular, like live in this like bubble. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That the rest of the world is like not. Oh, and Saudi Arabia. There's another one.
Mhm.
Like where, dude, your policies not great. Like and the rest of the world knows it. And when you try to kind of
But even
Not-
they're not as
like muscle in,
restrictive.
except for
But
the
yeah.
gays and the booze and like
No,
like dude,
I know, but
Yeah.
it's not good. Like you know what I'm saying?
No,
There's just
it's
a
not
couple
great.
people. It's just weird for most
I
of
meant
us
more
on
with
planet.
their outward messaging. to the
Sure.
rest of the
Yeah, you
world.
know why? Because they know how to whitewash motherfuckers. Like, you know what I'm saying? They understand how to whitewash things. Like it's just weird that like on planet Earth, now that we have the internet and all of us can talk to each other and see what's going on, that some of these like places are still like like it's like, yeah, dude, all the rest of us are talking. What are you talking about? You are the weird ones. You guys are the Amish, basically, and the rest of us are on fucking cell phones. Like, like it's a weird analogy, but I'm holding to it. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it does suck though, because now after hearing this, I was kind of like, I'm not gonna pick that game up. I'm just not. If I see it for like $10 several years down the road, sure, maybe. Like, but I don't love that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if some company was like, "Hey, punch cows in the face and fuck kittens," I'd be like, no,
No.
I don't. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do that,
No.
and I'm not purchasing your game now. Like, like keep your shit to yourself sometimes. Shut the fuck up.
I'm trying to find the information. I saw it, and then of course, for some reason, didn't save the story because I thought it would be relevant. Well, I didn't think it would be relevant, rather. But apparently, I mean, it got even to the point where at the Olympics recently, There's no, I guess there's no Taiwan representation. They call themselves China Taipei in the Olympics, but in China, they were reporting those medals and China's medals as one collection.
Yeah.
And then even went to the point of separating out any American athletes that weren't white as being like African American medals that are separate from the.
I would love to support this country of complete and total racist douchebags and assholes, like, frankly. Yeah.
Well, it's like accidentally racist because they're not doing it because they like don't like these people. They're doing it because they're trying to make themselves look, because if you just kept all the Americans together, they beat China's medal. I know. I get what you're saying.
Is it this face they're responding to? Because what the fuck? That is racist as fuck.
Yes,
like,
yes, that
dude,
is.
like, that is racist as fuck. Like,
well, what I'm saying is they were being extremely nationalistic, and then were racist accidentally with that. Not accidentally.
I can't hear any like sort of like rationale for shit like that. Oh, is it only that? Like,
no, it's not a rationale.
Wait. And then they were like,
insane.
oh, hey, if there was gay dudes, they're not Americans either, so we're not counting those dudes. Like, dude, get the fuck out of here. Like, I don't appreciate fucking your policies. No offense. Like, I don't come to my house and I won't, like, it won't come up at like dinner. Like if like a Chinese fucking like an actual legitimate like Chinese family, it's not even like, so you guys like counted those medals really wrong. Like, I wouldn't bring it up, you know what I'm saying? But like, if we're talking like amongst the rest of the population of Earth, I would be like, that's kind of fucked up, you know, because it's the rest of the population of Earth. Like,
yeah, the racism was a bonus.
Yeah, it was a cherry on top. A red cherry on top.
To say. That's what I was trying to
cherry
get around
on top.
Yeah.
Damn,
they're
dude,
like,
fuck off.
we get to make ourselves look better and do this. Yeah, it's a win-win.
Making yourselves look better and worse at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. And by mostly, I mean 95% of planet Earth, like going. That's not cool, bro. Like, all right, Uncle Steve has got to get out of here. He has had 3 shots of Jameson, and he has been talking about not landing on the moon for 2 hours. Like, you have to go. Like, all right. Does anyone else have anything they want to talk about?
Yeah, I got a quick one. We can just we can spend a couple. This will be 5 minutes. I just think this shit's hilarious. Speaking of esports, the Pokemon trading card game recently had a major event. The World Championships just happened. They got during the semifinals. A player by the name of, let me find his name real quick. A player by the name of Ian Robb had just defeated an opponent in the quarterfinals, and in his victory, did a little hand motion to his opponent, and Pokemon disqualified him. They called it unsporting conduct penalty. Which again, if you kind of look at it from Nintendo's point of view, this is it's intended to be a children's property. Obviously, the people that buy it are not children at this point. There are a lot of kids involved, but yeah. So there's a clip too. And to be fair, the guy looks pretty smug when he does it. Like, he knows what he's doing. He's not like, it wasn't a casual like, ah, shit, I can't believe I did that. He's like,
I was rolling these dice.
Yeah. Just rolling these dice vigorously in a tube.
To be fair, though, I mean, I can understand it being poor sportsmanship, but to be fair, when was the last time you celebrated winning a game like this?
Yesterday.
Yeah. You're asking the wrong guy.
Okay, yeah, seriously. Like, dude, a lot of fucking like white stuff came out of that victory, and it was pretty awesome.
you know, if you watch the clip, it's pretty undeniable what the guy is doing.
No, I agree. And the jerk off motion is like so childish too. Like, you know what you could have done. You know what you could have done if you were an adult.
Oh,
And you'd given him the like no one would have noticed or
Hey,
cared.
I know what that is now because I watched all 10 seasons of Friends recently.
There you go. That, that would have he wouldn't have gotten disqualified, I guarantee. But like vigorously doing the jerk off motion, come on, man. That's just and
Yeah.
frankly, seriously, what are you, 12, man? Like
Apparently.
No, this,
or
this was funny
like
enough.
splashing
One of the
him with
adult
it.
competitors too.
Yes, of course, I know, but like,
Yeah.
come on, man. Yeah, that's a little
Yeah,
bit
so-
much. I don't know about the
so-
disqualification.
So he won his match. He won his match. He did that, and then the next day of the event, funny enough, they didn't make an announcement about this. Literally, the next day the event started, and when they got to that semifinal match that the guy should have been in, it was the person that he beat in his place. They just disqualified him in between the days, and the guy was just there, and they didn't make any announcement about it. So people were watching the Twitch stream, and they were like,
Who the
"Wait,
fuck-
what?
Hmm.
Didn't this guy lose yesterday?"
Eh.
Yeah, I don't know, man. when you win a match, especially when you win, that's the thing. I get losing and being like, you had a moment, it was in bad taste, you were frustrated, but when you win,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exceedingly bad. No,
Yeah.
that's
Just
just
go,
that's
you
poor
know,
sportsmanship
what-
for sure.
shake the hand,
Yeah,
walk away.
fucking
Yeah.
knuckles, like whatever. Like elbow,
Yeah.
bam. Like yeah,
Yeah.
no, I agree. Yeah, but that is the funniest reason that anyone has ever been fucking disqualified from a fucking Pokemon game ever. Like we can admit that, right? Like
They
That's
did
real
the
fucking
jerk
funny.
off motion.
yeah.
And it also didn't help that it was on the live stream.
Yes, that
Yeah.
I guarantee was the reason.
Yeah.
I guarantee that was the reason.
Mhm.
Like, if that had been just at the tables, no one would have given a shit. Like, maybe he would have gotten a warning, like,
Yeah.
from a judge.
The
Yeah.
equivalent of whatever Pokemon TCG does is in pools.
Judge.
Yeah,
They have
whatever
judges.
their
Mhm.
They have
equivalent is.
judges.
Oh no! I meant the pool round. Like
Yeah.
the pools.
Yeah, I'm just saying,
If you did
if
it
you had
there,
done
off
that
camera,
in
sure.
right, if you had done that in pools, like whatever, and the judge had seen it, he probably would have said, "Hey, dude, don't do that." Like but being on stream and also have the fucking decorum. You're on stream, bro. Like be a fucking a professional,
In
an
the
adult.
Oh, yeah.
The quarterfinals of the largest grossing IP in the world.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like, dude, come on. You don't
No-
see Wolf
nothing
Glick.
about that was yeah.
Like, you don't see Wolf Glick being like, that was you. That was you. Like, you don't see him doing that, do you? No, you don't, because he's a fucking professional. Like,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. All right, I gotta let this dog out. I'll be right back.
All
Look at his
right.
face. Look at that face.
Oh.
He's so
Well,
marshmallow.
I guess we can just wrap up here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just give me
yeah.
1 second. I gotta let him out.
All right.
You guys wrap it up, and I'm gonna be right back.
Okay.
I can't wrap it up. You're on your stream. What are you doing? No, come back. Don't go. Okay.
No. Marshmallow Fat Boy just had to go outside. I
Ah,
included it because I
Oh,
was
I
smoking.
thought
Okay, yeah, I thought you meant, like, out.
No.
Okay,
I
yeah.
just yeah.
Okay.
Well, gentlemen. Yeah,
This is gonna be my
official
new
smarter than
sign-off.
AI gesture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just throw it in your face. Nah.
Ay, ay, ay.
I'm gonna make the thwip noise too. Thwip, like, ugh. Don't throw it at somebody. It's just rude. You place it on them on their back like God intended.
Uh,
All right. Okay, so I've had several beers and I don't drink much anymore. Boop.
We
Um,
we
all right,
almost made it through an episode without any wiener references too.
Oh my God, there's never been a time. Never been a time. Not
Well,
once.
Like I said, we almost
Oh,
for
yeah,
the first
no.
time.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, to be fair, this one wasn't actually on us, right? This is on fucking jerk off Pokemon.
Ian
Jerk
Ross.
off.
yeah.
Ah.
All right. Okay. Well, fine. I'm good. Okay. Fine. I'm done now. All right. Well, I love you both. And this was an excellent show as always. Actually, you know what was nice about this one? Yet again, I love this bi-weekly thing. Again, I love. What a surprise! See what I did there?
We get to kind of pick
like
and
it.
choose what we want.
And we only get to have like kind of actual fun conversations. We don't really have to talk about so many layoffs every fucking week.
True.
Which is great. Like this is like a really nice format.
And Gamescom is right now, so
Yes.
we'll have stuff probably to talk about next
time.
Should we do next week because of that? Is the question.
Let's maybe see what actually happens.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Well, because Gamescom is the biggest. I mean, we don't have E3 anymore, so really, it is.
Yeah, but stuff there is mostly already announced. They don't do a lot of surprises. So I guess let's just see what happens.
Okay.
It's more of it's less an E3 and more of a here's what's coming soon in the next year kind of vibe. Does that make sense? So we know most of the stuff that's already most of the stuff they're showing has already been announced. They're just media.
Okay.
This is the media's opportunity. So yeah, let's just see. Let's see what happens.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. Well, this was excellent, and thank you guys again for joining me as always.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
Bye, Rich's chat.
Bye, Alex's chat.
Bye, guys. Bye-bye.
And meanwhile, Alex, before you go, does this mean now you're getting off?
Rich, I'm gonna have at least 20 more. I looked at the wrong side of my watch. I'm gonna have at least 20 more minutes. Get the hell out of here!
What are you, a fucking hitman?
Dude, what are you from the Chinese government? You don't dictate when I jerk off.
Looking at your watch
All
like
right,
that.
now this episode should not be archived. Fuck this episode. This archive is dead. God damn it. Son of a bitch, I almost made it to the end without saying something completely asinine.
Gotcha!
All right, I love you both. Get out of here.
Later. Well, we made it up until the very end, and then the last story had to ruin it. Oh well. It is our show after all. We do what we want to do. Regardless, guys, I hope you had a lot of fun. I enjoyed the show. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Paul's staring at us. Either way, I should be back tomorrow with, I forgot to put the poll out there, so I'll do that tomorrow morning. Probably either going to be Haiku the Robot or Ender Lilies, and we'll have fun with that. So in the meantime, I will catch you all later, guys. Hope you have a good one, and hopefully see you tomorrow. Till then.